everyone, this is Penny Rumsey. I'm doing a little short video today on the power of problem solving. We're looking at the problem to solution model, and I'm going to start my video here for you. Just to give you a quick intro of who I am a child of God, I am a mother, and I am a problem solver. About 15 years ago, I found myself at the bottom of the garbage bucket, and I felt like I was buried and stuck in problems. And I was lost and confused, and I couldn't see clearly, and I had no answers for how I could solve all the problems that I faced. What I learned was that on my way out, I learned a lot of principles and a lot of tools that have helped me learn how to think and truly how to transform my life from darkness to light, which I just finished writing in my book of the same name. Today, I'm going to share with you just a couple of problem-solving principles in hopes that it will help you to gain clarity that you need in order to be able to have light and answers. And I hope the principles will help you to see how to think and take you one step closer to being able to discover what your purpose is and be able to make meaningful connections and contributions to the world. Because there are lots of problems to be solved, and that's what we're talking about today. So let me start my video screen share, and we will get into that. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. Let me show you right here. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, if you have any questions, put them in the chat, and we will look at those after this short little presentation and just discuss any questions or even comments that you have. I would love to be able to learn from you. And I know that everyone has wisdom that they can share. So would love to be able to hear that. So just put those in the chat. Okay, so have you guys seen this picture? This is a hilarious picture that I saw on a YouTube commercial the other day. This lady, she's all getting sprayed by this water and her house is falling apart, and the water is just going crazy and just like messing up everything, right? And she's just totally smiling and cheesy, and she's like, oh, everything's just great. I have, you know, home insurance or whatever it is that she was talking about. So it was just hilarious. So when we look at problems in our lives, sometimes this is how it feels. It feels like all of this craziness is going on, maybe like we're in a tornado or there's a storm, and it just feels really hard that we're getting hit by everything, maybe even all at the same time. I have a friend that I was talking to, and she's just dealing with so much all at the same time. So this picture kind of just made me laugh and realize, like, really that's how it feels when we're in the middle of a bunch of problems. So that we can acknowledge, really the first thing is to acknowledge that, yes, where we are, where am I, are we facing this problem, and what solutions do I have? So that moment usually takes me to my knees. Hopefully it takes you to a place where you're able to find peace and answers, and then able to refocus on really what the solution is. So when we look at this from the problem to solution model, there's a few different things happening, but these are some of the thoughts that I have when I'm looking at problems. So imagine a great big tree, and the tree is sick and it's dying, so that it looks black like this, right? And the branches of the tree, they have, you know, wilted, and all these symptoms are happening. So imagine with me the tree on the outside is the symptoms of everything that is going wrong. All of the little details, the minutia, all of the different things that we kind of get focused on that are the problem that's causing the pain, right? So then we go down to, hopefully you can see my cursor right here, we go down to the roots, not the roots, the branches that are putting out the leaves. We go down to the branches, and then we're starting to see the problems. We're starting to see, oh, maybe this person is a problem, or maybe this circumstance is a problem. Like maybe I don't have any money, or maybe I live in the wrong house, or maybe I have the wrong job, or you know, a bunch of other things. So we could start thinking like, what's causing the problem, and what's causing this. So then if your thinking can go down further to look at the trunk of the tree. So the trunk of the tree is where you start to see the core. what is the core of the problem? So it has lots of symptoms on the outside. It has some, maybe it's not really easy to look in the branches and actually to be able to see what is happening. You need to go down to the core. What's the core of the problem? And then take it down further into the roots. When you get into the roots, you start to see the root cause of the problem. And you are able to think on a higher level. I don't know if you've heard that quote. It talks about thinking on a higher level to solve our current problems. So that is kind of when I'm facing a lot of problems, this is one of the things that comes to me as a way to be able to look at the different parts of the problem to be able to figure out what to do about it. So just kind of to go over the words here, again, the symptoms are on the outer part, the branches. We look closer into the trunk and we can find the core, which is the character, the core character. And then we look into the roots to find the root cause. So if we looked at this in the model that we talked about last week, we talked about thoughts, words, actions, thoughts, words, I should have pulled it up, the choices, and then the actions, and then the results. So we're looking at the results out here in the branches, and we're seeing that there's results that we don't like. But in the current, in the middle of the storm, we are not able to find out what's actually causing it. So then you go down and you look at your choices. What choices have I made that have helped, that brought about this result? And then you go down to your thinking. What way am I thinking that has brought about the choice, that has brought about the result? So that's one of the principles that has made such a huge difference for me as I have looked at different problems in my life and trying to find solutions for them. So hopefully that's helpful for you. I would love to be able to talk about your ideas and some things that you think have been ways that you've been able to solve problems, but this is one of the principles that I think is vital. So as you look to what your purpose is, like we could look at the background picture of this and just kind of imagine like your solution is over here and your problem is over here. And I want to point you toward finding out what your purpose is for the reason that when I was in the place of not knowing who I was and feeling like there was a lot of garbage on me, I felt like there was something bigger that I was born to do. But because of all this garbage pushing me down, I didn't have the power to do it. So what got me through that was being able to find out who I really am and what my purpose is. So that's now what I'm trying to help and teach other people, is to understand who you are and what your purpose is, because that's going to be able to help you to get through the junk, to get the clarity, to find what it is that you're born to do. So if you imagine like that we have a board and we're writing on the board, and you can even do this with a piece of paper. After this video is over, just get out a piece of paper and just do a writing exercise and just say, the problem is, or I feel like. You could do different writing exercises to analyze with the thoughts that are in your mind, and just start free writing. The problem is this and this and this, and this is a problem. And then try to look at the trunk of the tree. What's the core? What's the character? And then ask yourself, what's the root cause of the problem? And you can even write it out. And you can say the root cause of the problem is, and then just wait and pause and let your brain find the answer. When you ask the question, your subconscious brain is able to bring those answers to the surface. It's so amazing when you're finding those answers. So the problem is as if it's on one side of the paper. And then we can take that and flip it over to be able to see what the solution is. What problem do you see and what solution can you bring? When I was in this place several years ago of seeing what the problem was, I went through a deep learning phase to be able to figure out and understand the problem. And that is very, very valuable, to be able to understand truly what problems you're dealing with. And then as you do that, you're going to be able to develop a certain perspective that is unique to you. And that's kind of the thought that I put down, because that was my path. The way that I see the problem is unique to me and who I am and what my purpose is in life. And I believe that's the same for you. that each of us have a unique perspective, that when we look at what the problem is and we turn it around and we find out, we learn enough about the problem until we ask the question, what's the solution? And sometimes this takes brainstorming with other people, if it's a group scenario, or maybe it's with your family, what's the solution? Or if it's just you, if you feel like you are depressed, that's definitely a personal problem. Like, it's me and my thoughts. When I was in that place, I had to come to a place where I realized that I was causing my problems, and it was painful. It was painful to realize that, because the way that I was thinking caused me the way that I felt, caused me the way that I acted, and caused the results in my family, to destroy all those relationships and the things that made my life really hard and that caused pain and that I didn't like. But when I realized the thing that I was responsible, here's like the amazing, like, there's a word for it, I can't think of what it is, but it's like a trick. Like, you figure out that you're the cause of the problem, guess what? That also means you're the solution to the problem. If you caused it, then you can fix it. So that's a very liberating place to realize. It's heavy, it's hard to realize that you're causing your problems, but at the same time, it's liberating, because it gives you hope to be able to think, well, if I caused it, then I can do something about it. When I went through my journey several years ago, what I came to the conclusion of was that I need to change myself. I was so critical. I was just thinking about this the other day, just critical of all of the people in my family and my relationships, and just pointing out to them, you do this wrong and you do this wrong, and all of the nasty, stinky ways that I was so critical, because I'm a perfectionist by nature. That's my personality. If you've ever read the Enneagram, it's a fantastic book, but it points to a perfectionist or an idealistic type of person. I saw an ideal world that I wanted life to be like, or I wanted my family or my home to be like, or even that I wanted myself to be like, but I didn't know how to flip that over to look at the solution. So now I can see that by changing myself, truly it is the solution. And through that journey, I learned several things. Gandhi was one of the heroes that I learned about at that time. And he said, when you can change yourself, you can change the world, which has made all the difference for me. And honestly, time and time and time again, every time I start to get chaotic in my outside world and I start to feel this anxiety and this stress, like I can't control everything outside around me, if I start to feel that, then I have to just realize, okay, wait a minute, what's going on? Let's come back to home. Let's get back to the core. What's going on? What do I need to change with myself? And usually when I stop and I pause and I think, there's always something that I need to change about myself. So hopefully that has been helpful for you to look at the pattern of the problem, to see it as a tree, to look at what the core issues are and how you can find those issues that are in your life. When I developed through learning to live through the solution, for me, it's like Gandhi said, when you change yourself, you can change the world. And that happens in a pattern. You change yourself and you can change your family, and then you can make a community contribution. You can do something to have an impact in the world around you. Don't think that it's too hard. Don't think that you can never get there just because of where you are now. If you're feeling that way, then look at this picture. You're looking into the darkness and it's feeling very heavy, and it's feeling like nothing can ever change because you're looking that way on this picture. But if you can find a way to shift your focus, you look toward the light. You see how this space opens up right here when the clouds go at a diagonal? You're looking toward a space that continually expands, a space that gets bigger the more you go toward the light. That's what freedom is, and that's the personal freedom that you can gain when you look toward the light and you're able to see those solutions, see that you have power within yourself to be able to change yourself and change your family and change the world. So let me check the time here. Looks like we've been chatting for about 15 minutes. So Let's go over to our discussion questions. I'm going to stop screen share for a second and find my chat box. Okay, so I didn't really put out a lot of invites tonight. I'm still getting nervous and used to sharing on the video, so there aren't a lot of people with us tonight, but that's okay. If you guys have any questions, I would love for you to share in the comments of our Mission Whispers Facebook group, and just share what it is that you feel like has helped you. Also, I have another invite for you that if you can share with me on a survey, hold on, it's going to be posted on the Mission Whispers group. It's right here at the bottom. You can see the survey link, but I'll post that link on the Mission Whispers group, and I would love to be able to get your feedback about what you see, any comments that you have, anything that you've learned. I love learning from other people, and I would love to be able to hear what you have to share. That's one of the beautiful things about when you're learning. No matter where you are today, you start learning one thing. That's all it takes, just one thing, and you learn it, and then you apply it to yourself, and then you share it with someone else. That gives you one step up the ladder, and you have made one step up your hole. That's where I felt I was. I felt I was in a hole and I had to climb out. And these steps of learning, applying, and sharing is literally the thing that helped me to make one step at a time. So I would love to be able to hear your comments and get some feedback from you. So if you get a chance, put some comments in there. I would love to be able to connect with you. I also want to share with you that I have a call that I'm doing next week, and it is going to be on synergistic heroes. So I'm so excited to be able to talk about this. There's some ideas I've been having this week about the synergistic way that I learn. I don't know if it's the way everybody learns, but it's really cool and it's fun, and I want to be able to share that with you. So please come next week, 5 o'clock. We'll do it live if you have questions. If not, I'll post the recording. I know that the time constraints don't always work out, and I would love to be able to have you invite your friends and anybody else that you feel like that could benefit from this. I am beginning to open a mentoring program. So if you feel like this is something that you need help with, I just want to let you know that I'm available. And you're more than welcome to reach out to me, private message me, and we'll work out a plan to be able to help you get your next step up. I'll help you find the directions and find the answers. It's a very intuitive process, and if you are ready to take those steps, then I am ready to fight with you and make that happen with you. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been really fun. I love connecting with you. Even though this is a struggle for me and a challenge, it's helping me to be better. So I appreciate you joining us, and you guys have a great night. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.